Michael Elliott.
The Mike Elliott Show.
Michael Elliott Show.
The Michael Elliott Show.
The Michael Elliott Show.
Listen to Michael Elliott.
It's the Michael Elliott Show.
Thank you for tuning in to the Michael Elliott
Help
Show.
us grow this show. Like, subscribe, and comment.
I am Michael Elliott the Vague, and today we have the guest, my man Lou Collins, sweet Lou Collins, in the building today.
Blessings, man, blessings.
Absolutely. And normally our show is mostly about relationships and all about relationships. Today we're kind of changing the format a little bit, and we're going to talk about some other things. All right, I got my guest, sweet Lou Collins, in the house. Man, you're a native of Las Vegas. You've been here, and I know that you've been through ups and downs, ins and outs, all the way from family to friends, colleagues, work. I mean, you do so much in the city, and you come from a long way. Tell me some of the things that that don't sit well with you in the city of Las Vegas, the things that you've been doing as you've been coming up.
Well, man, first of all, it's an honor. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be here having this amazing engagement of information with you, man. And of course, you know, you and our history go back a long ways, man. And,
Long way.
you know, you said some things earlier, man, about, you know, some of the processes that has taken place in this city, man, and some of the things that you and I both have seen, you know what I'm saying, you and I both have done, and you and I both have experienced. And so ultimately, you know, we came up on different sides of the community, but we ended up on the right side of the community doing the right things. And so you and I truly have a tremendous history when nobody knew that Vegas would be where it is today. So again, there's a lot of things, man, where the greatest things, a lot of people are coming into the city and they're not paying homage to those of us who are the original, especially when it comes to entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to entertainment. You know, and so there's been a severe disconnect between West Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Las Vegas itself. And so the Black community, because a lot of people that are now coming to Las Vegas, they don't understand that most Black people were not allowed to actually go to certain areas of this city. And so we had our own.
When you say certain areas, like what areas?
Well, you know, we was not actually allowed to go primarily to the Strip, you know, and primarily downtown.
The playground.
The playground. And so, you know, Black folks in this town, you know, we were designated to 2 zip codes, and that's 89106 and 89030.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I came out of the 106, and you came out of the 030.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so again, you know, if you wasn't Black, you couldn't actually go in any part of the city, especially talking about enterprise, especially talking about entertainment, especially talking about sports. And so oftentimes people are now coming into Vegas, you know, that look like us, and they don't understand the history. And so it gets frustrating to me when they come into the city and they don't acknowledge or try to find the history. And of course, I was always taught, when you go into a new city, you got to know where the bones are buried. And so you got to figure out where the bones are buried, and you have to ask the
So
questions.
when you say the bones are buried, now somebody that's out there listening, they may not know exactly what that means.
So again, the bones are buried means you have to do your due diligence and go around and ask the question, who, what, and why? Who owned that? Who ran that? Why did that go? Why did that not stay? What happened to him? What happened to them? What happened to her? You have to ask the questions, and then people will begin to tell you where the bones are buried. Because before you did it, or before you walked into this community, there were people that did it before you that are now gone. So you have to know who initially were the players that are now deceased, but created the opportunities for us. Because again, Vegas has always been declared as the Mississippi of the West. What does that mean? Based on the racism and everything that has taken place in the southern parts of the country, for people to come to Vegas, West Las Vegas, they become surprised by the disrespect and the discrimination that has taken place in our city.
You know, not to switch it up a little bit, but to kind of ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
In Las Vegas, during your era, gang banging and fighting and activity, drugs, was real heavily strong in your community and also in my community.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever get involved?
So that's a great question. So I came out of course, when we talk about the 89106, I particularly came out of a blood neighborhood.
Right.
And so ultimately, you know, the community that I came up off of Lake Mead and Jay. Now here's the crazy thing. So where I grew up off of Lake Mead and Jay, 90% of the public housing was in my community. So it was kind of a crazy situation because the way that they designated Black folks at that time, where again, you couldn't go stay in other zip codes. So in the 106, you had 90% of public housing, the projects, Sherman Gardens, Villa Capri, Weaver Street. And then, of course, I grew up in the house.
What they call it, PPPT?
PPPT, four people pulling together.
You know, that was something to put out there. You know,
it was a PPPT.
That they put it on the wall.
They put it on the wall.
You know, your kids
You
had to
remember
walk
that?
out. Yeah, your kids. We had to walk out and see it. You know, my auntie lived over there.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
we
Your
had to
auntie-
walk out and see that every single day.
It was on the walls. PPPT.
Real nice and pretty.
It was in a circle. PPPT.
Man.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember when my auntie house, it faced directly. When you standing in her doorway, you looking directly at it. It's across the yard in the parking lot. Yeah, got the yard in the parking lot.
Yes,
but
sir.
you can see that.
And your auntie stayed right there in Villa Capri.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember it. Stayed in Villa Capri. And when you come out, you look right across the parking lot and you see the big circle, PPPT.
And then you look out the other window, you see Matt Kelly.
And you saw Matt Kelly, which was right across the street. We were right across the street from Matt Kelly. And so again, when you had people that lived in the houses and people that lived in public housing, which was literally 3 minutes across the street from each other. And so you was growing up with individuals who had different type of income statuses, but everybody was socially engaged, so we all were friends. And so again, naturally coming up where I came up, it was the Bloods, you know what I'm saying? And being affiliated with some of the friendships, some of the neighbors and the relationships that we saw every day. So indirectly, we was from that neighborhood. Indirectly, we was from that zip code. Indirectly, we had to indirectly be associated with that behavior. So naturally, it was only normal that you didn't wear any other colors.
You had to respect the neighborhood.
You had to respect the neighborhood.
No doubt.
You had to respect the neighborhood.
And that's a good thing because when it all boils down to it, they will be there to protect you.
Absolutely.
They will be there to help you. They will be there, you know, if you fall or something like that.
Absolutely. And
so my question, I was asked to ask you, your very first gig that you did at the Heritage, in the Heritage Lounge.
Wow.
Who set you up to do that show?
Wow.
If you remember. I know it was a while back.
Man, who set me up to do that show? at the Heritage Lounge? That's a great question, Mike. That's a great question.
Well, we'll let you come back
That's a
and
great
see what you
question,
think about that.
I'm recalling, I'm recalling it was me. I remember it was me, and it was Diamond.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you remember Diamond.
Yeah, I know Diamond, which was Red Fox's grandson.
Right. Which he now works with Cat Williams.
He works with Cat Williams, absolutely.
Diamond. And at that time, of course, John Edmond was the owner of the Heritage Lounge. And Mr. Edmond, and I'm trying to recall who set me
Hen
up.
Hen?
And
Was it Hen Hen?
Hen Hen. Was it Hen Hen?
That's who told me to ask you the question. He asked me this today.
Really?
Yeah. I said, you know, I'm
It may have been Hen Hen. Yes.
Okay.
I think Hen Hen was a
He
part
said-
of that.
So that's like
Yes.
That's like you know,
Yes.
the story, the major thing that happened at the show, with Diamond capping on Ricky Crockett.
You remember that?
You know, you know, it was kind of crazy because I want you to tell the story. I want you to kind of tell the story exactly how you remember it.
So, of course, and I can't remember the joke, but the joke went like, so Diamond. So originally Diamond was doing comedy at the Heritage Lounge. So at that time, if you can recall, I had just came home from college.
Right.
And so I got home from school in 91. This was like 92, 93.
Right.
And so I started doing comedy, but Diamond was doing comedy. And so I hadn't met Diamond. And so everybody was saying, hey man, this is little dude, Red Fox's grandson. You need to get to meet him. So we were doing things separately. And then Diamond was doing stuff over at different venues, and he was at Gates Barbecue because Diamond was originally from St. Louis.
Right.
And so Gates was also from Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So Diamond was doing things at St. Louis. So I ended up getting booked over at Gates Barbecue through Diamond. And so when I got booked over there, then me being from Vegas, being from the West Side, everybody truly understood how, because, you know, growing up, I played the dozen. We did, the Captain Mama jokes and all that.
All the way at school.
All the way at school, you know what I'm saying?
You can't leave the lunchroom because... Hey,
Right.
if I remember the principal, I'd say, hey, you get out of here, man. I remember you being in the lunchroom,
holding
court.
In the lunchroom.
And we in there playing tongue.
Yes, sir. You remember
I
that?
remember that.
Right. So this particular night, we take it to the Heritage Lounge. Big night. Big night at the Heritage Lounge.
Right.
Packed out in the back. You remember the room in the back?
Room in the back.
So we at the Heritage Lounge, we blowing it up. And I think this particular night, I think I was filming my live for my live CD, the Lou Millennium CD. So we got the camera crew and everything set up. Shout out Jim Browski, because Jim Browski was the DJ, and Jim was a video guy also. Right. Jim had the equipment back then. And so we got the show rocking. I'm on the ticket, Diamond on the ticket, a couple other comedians on the ticket. At that time, you know, of course, the dope game was the big thing.
Absolutely.
The dope game, the pimp game was a big thing. So the pimps, the hoes, and the drug dealers was at the show.
Right. It's on the west side.
It's on the west side. It's at the Heritage Lounge.
They got a chance to roll up in their fly ride.
They got a chance
to
roll
roll up in their flies gear. And they knew they was the man with the jewelry on.
All that.
I'm sitting in the front row.
The box phones, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the big phones.
The big phones and everything. So it's a hot night. It's hot.
Right.
Heritage Lounge is packed. Of course, like I said, they had the ballroom, the big room in the back.
Right.
And so this particular night, Diamond comes on stage. I'll never forget Ricky Crockett and all them cats. They come through. They got the girls. All them come. So Rick and them get there. They wanted to sit in the front row. Because I think I remember Rick hitting me or somebody in his camp saying, man, make sure you hold me some seats in the front.
Right.
So they got there kind of relatively late, though. So they kind of interrupt the show. So at the time they interrupted the show, Diamond was on the mic telling his jokes. Now Diamond don't know Ricky Crockett, you know, because it was drug as in gangsters,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These gangsters,
Right.
So they come in. Of course, they come in late. They make their presence to the front, and they laughing, because they love the comedy. They
Right.
laughing and laughing and
Right.
laughing and laughing. And something happened where Ricky Crockett was laughing too loud or something. And Don was like, "Hey man, don't you see him doing the show?" And everybody was like, because he cut Rick off.
Right.
And everybody was like, ooh, like
Everybody held their
breath like, dude, you don't really know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then he called him out. And then the joke was like, something like, see, your mama, something about Rick mama being a hoe. The difference.
It was a slick way he said it.
It was a slick way he said it,
And
right.
so Rick had to process
The
it.
difference between your mama and a hoe is something. It was real slick.
Right.
But it was funny as hell.
Right.
It was funny as hell. And the joke was amazing. It was clever. It was a great joke. It was funny as hell. But it didn't land.
Didn't land.
And remember, Rick was in the front
Right in
of the stage.
Right.
And jumped up and said, "What'd you say? You call my mama a hoe?" And walked up there, man, and knocked him out.
Cold.
Knocked Diamond out.
Diamond had no idea what was going on.
Diamond had no idea what was going on.
Man, that was something.
Knocked him out. You remember that?
I remember that. You know, I actually was I actually didn't see what happened, but I pulled up. And when I pulled up during that time, you know, the streets were so hot.
Yeah,
so I
it
was
was
just
hot.
like sitting in the car. And so when everybody came running out of the club, I was like, I got it too late. I was like, it's over with already.
Man, I can't actually remember the actual joke, but the joke was clever and it was funny.
I think it was something like
It was something about, and I used to tell it. I used to tell people all the time that joke. Man.
It had something to do with fuck your mama or something like that, but it was a slick way he said it.
A slick way he said it.
Yeah.
Right.
And he thought about it. He's like, did you just say that? And then he
Correct.
said it again.
And he said it again.
Yeah.
He went back over the joke again.
Yeah.
And he got up out his seat, man, and walked up on that stage, man, and punched the shit out of it, man, and started mopping it.
Man, that was something.
On that stage, man. And so I remember going to grab Diamond. I remember going to grab him, man, and there was a utility closet to the left of the stage. I see it just as clear. It was a utility closet to the left.
I remember that stage.
To the left of the stage,
yeah.
right there. And I remember grabbing him, man, because nobody could grab Rick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody could
You
grab
better not touch Rick.
You better not touch Rick.
3 or 4 other dudes gonna hit you.
Yeah, you better not touch Rick. Right. So he was literally having it his way. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna grab Rick. And so I went and grabbed Diamond, man, and drug him into that utility closet and locked the door. And he was fucked up. like, man, what happened? You know, a day or so later, like, what happened? I'm like, dude, not that dude. And I remember Metro came. And remember, Dirty Rob, may he rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Dirty Rob was with Rick.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Road dog.
It was his road dog. Dirty Rob was with Rick. And when Metro came, Dirty Rob's brother, Leon, was the police.
That's right. Ain't that something? Boy, small world. Just so
he was the police.
You know, one brother was the police, another brother was a crook.
Yeah.
And just for the record, one of the police jumped on the brother, and when the police dude went to work, he beat the brakes off the police when he got to work for jumping on his brother.
On his brother.
Yeah.
Real talk.
So that's real talk.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that happened.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Growing up in the city, it's been so many things, you know, from the sports to the entertainment. So you was an athlete.
Yeah, I played.
What was your favorite sport?
Now, ironically, you know, baseball was our thing.
Right.
You know what I'm
Baseball
saying?
was the thing.
With Pops being the coach and everything, baseball was our thing. But I really liked basketball. You know what I'm saying? But it was amazing because, you know, I was like 5'2", 5'3", 250 some pounds. You know what I'm saying?
But you can shoot that rock.
But I could shoot.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can pass.
Yeah, I could pass.
Hey, you can move.
And I could move.
At 250 pounds. A lot of people see you today and they don't even know that you're an athlete.
Yes.
They don't know that you came from being an athlete.
Isn't that something?
Rest in peace to Drakey. You know, even Drakey was a really good athlete.
He was.
You know, and Drakey played up all the years,
He
which made him, you know, kill this division.
Yeah, you're right. And of course, you know, those that you know, that remember Drakey, you know what I'm saying, of course, you know, April of 2000, and, you know, is when he took his last breath, you know what I'm saying? But he was an amazing athlete, you know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
He was an amazing athlete, man, on all three sports, baseball, football, and basketball. And, you know, he had an opportunity, man, to, you know, go to Bishop Gorman, you know what I'm saying? And when he went to Bishop Gorman, man, became one of the star tailbacks, you know, in the city.
We went to go see him play.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? One of the star tailbacks in the city coming out of Bishop Gorman. And so he was a phenomenon because his size, you know, he was small frame, but he was so agile, you know what I'm saying? And he was quick.
Swift.
Yeah, he was swift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was swift, man. So, you know, he definitely had an untimely death, you know. But again, the way that we came up out of the West Side, man, you know, athletes were very prominent, you know, growing up down the street from Doolittle, you know what I'm saying?
And Doolittle, if y'all don't know, Doolittle is the place that if you're going to make it anywhere, you got to go through Doolittle. That's that brick wall that you got to knock down, and you go through there. Normally all the kids that played ball actually went through Doolittle.
Right. So Doolittle was the Mecca, and all of the greats came through Doolittle. Well, you know, we lived 5 minutes from Doolittle. And so
not even 5 minutes.
Well, you're right, 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes from Doolittle. So to wake up every day and walk to the community center, walk to Doolittle, and see all of these playground legends.
Spider-Man.
You know what I'm saying? All these playground legends, man. I mean, you know, it was just an array of talented brothers, man, and talented, you know, females, you know, because also Doolittle had a swimming pool. And so, you know, the stigma is black folks don't know how to swim. Well, we knew how to swim, you know what I'm saying? So we released the stigma, well, you know, black folks don't know how to swim. They don't get in the water. Well, you know, coming out of Doolittle, I remember a lot of the cats that came out of the Jets, you know, a lot of the brothers that was coming out of the Jets, a lot of the Bloods, you know what I'm saying, could swim. You know, they could swim. And
you know, but, you know, in our time at junior high, 7th grade, 6th grade, you had to learn how to swim no matter what. So everybody swim. At all our schools, we had pools.
At all our junior highs.
Yeah,
at all our junior highs.
Every junior high had a pool, and we all had a swimming class.
Right.
Every year.
Every year. That's right. And so naturally for us, you know what I'm saying, being able to come through, you know, Doolittle, come through the junior high, but go to Doolittle and just sit, man, every day, all day. You spend 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours at the gym and watching people do their thing. Now, also what was incredible during our era, you know what I'm saying, when we're talking about the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s coming through Doolittle, it was territorial, remember? So a lot of times, Northtown couldn't come to the West Side unless you had an endorsement.
That's it, absolutely.
Unless you had an endorsement. And so again, you know, if you was from Northtown and you was from the West Side, you had to be endorsed to go both ways because you couldn't be over there.
I'm glad I was endorsed early.
Oh yeah, you was endorsed early. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, you were.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? No, you were, because in you know, through Little League, you know what I'm saying, and through sports, you know, you was very talented as well.
I remember when Las Vegas played a California team during AAU time back when we were young.
Right.
And Tony, Todd Diggs' brother, Tony. You know, light-skinned Tony, big buff Tony.
Went to El Dorado.
No, he went to Clark. Todd Diggs.
Oh, yeah.
And his brother Tony.
Yeah, Big Tony. Yes,
Big
sir.
Tony.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
Big Tony is older than me.
Yeah, Big Tony.
And they was playing against the team.
Right.
They came and got me from Northtown to come play with them. They coach did. So my dad brought me over and I played with them. And I didn't start, but when I got in the game, they kept me in the game. That was like my first introduction playing basketball at Doolittle. And getting my recognition. And as we say, I was okay to come over here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, you got your pass.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got your pass.
Yeah.
And again, even in back in your day in the 6th grade at Kit Carson,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You
and then I didn't even go to Kit Carson, but I played for Kit Carson.
You played for Kit Carson
because they came and got me to come and play.
I remember.
And that was the West Side School.
And that was the West Side School, of course.
And I told them, if I'm gonna play, I gotta come. Andre Jacobs got to play with me.
Man, Big
So,
Dre.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Wow.
I had to have Dre because Dre was jumping out the gym in the 6th grade. I mean, he grabbing rim and all that stuff.
6th grade.
In the 6th grade.
Yes, sir.
Blocking shots, slapping the backboard. His favorite thing was making lips, slap the backboard all different kind of ways. Backhand, front hand, you know what I'm saying? Stupid hop, you know what I mean? 6th grade type stuff, 7th grade. And of course, once he got in high school, he was dunking like crazy.
Man. And then he was the dunk contest at Doolittle.
He won the dunk contest.
He won the dunk contest,
Absolutely.
man, at Doolittle.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I ran into him, man, last year. I ran into him. Hadn't seen Dre in for years. And he was doing construction. He had his work uniform on. I think we was at Mario's. And he had this big old gut. Big old stomach, man.
Yeah.
And he was walking slow.
Yeah.
He was walking slow.
Yeah.
And he had just came off work. And he's all dusty and musty and everything. And I say, Skywalker,
that's his name. I gave him that name.
Did you?
I gave him that name. In the 6th grade, when we was going from the 6th grade summertime to the 7th grade, I gave him the name Skywalker.
You gave him the name Skywalker. I said, Skywalker. Oh, Lou, what's up,
that sounds
man?
just like
I say, Dre, look at you, brother. And somebody else was with me. I said, man, you see that guy? He used to jump out the gym.
Man.
Would dunk on you.
I remember
game.
I remember the first fashion was Dre. Dre went to the prom in a tuxedo. He had the shorts hemmed up with some black and white Nikes on. You know what I'm saying? He had the tuxedo with the shorts.
Right.
Hemmed up. Then he had the tuxedo with the long ducktail with the black high top Nikes on. That was like fashion.
He did that. No, he used to do that, man.
Yeah.
And I was going through my phone, Mike, not too long ago, man, and I finally deleted his number.
Some numbers you just hold on to for a long time.
Yeah,
and you really want to call them and say, I wish they come back.
I hadn't seen Dre, man, in almost literally 30 years.
Wow.
I hadn't really seen him in
I hadn't
30
seen
years.
Dre in a long time, and I used to see him down there by Jim Bridger when he was living down there.
Okay.
I would stop by there and, hang out over there for a minute, chop it up with him. But then it went a long period of time. And then the time that we got back together, he was doing the bars. He was cleaning the bars.
Okay.
He had the business.
Okay.
And I had started going to help him. I was helping him clean the bars, and I'm in these bars. I'm behind the bar. I'm like, they got me behind the bar. I'm behind the bar. They don't care. They don't care as long as I'm here with Dre. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
wow.
They asked you if you want anything. So I ain't no big drinker, so I didn't really get anything. But just to be there around all that liquor, all the money, you know what I'm saying? You see all the people coming in. It was cool. But Dre was he was getting sick at that time. And that's why I was helping him out. And he trusted me and I did it for nothing.
Wow.
I did it for nothing. That's my partner.
Really?
And he told me that he would give me, gas money. And I told Dre, man, look, when you get well, just get yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
When he got himself together, and then it started falling again, I wasn't there to do it. So he wound up losing a couple of his contracts.
Okay.
Then he opted out of a couple of them because his health wasn't that good, and at the time my life was doing something different. I couldn't do it, but yeah, I did that for him, man, and I was there for nothing, you know.
Man,
and
honorable,
it was
brother.
three.
Honorable.
It was 3 spots that I was doing, but I just wanted to see him get on his feet.
Right.
I wanted to see him get better. You know what I mean? And never look for a paycheck, never look for no dime. But I did used to want, when I get to that bar, they better cook me something to eat. And that wasn't that often, but I wanted to make sure that I had that, if I wanted to eat something, you know.
That relationship there.
Absolutely.
Man, honorable, brother.
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, one of the things that I want to ask you is, who inspired you to become the guy you are today?
So there are a lot of people, man, that inspired me, man, to be who I am and where I am today. You know, of course, as I tell people, you know, coming out of West Las Vegas, being in North Las Vegas, because, you know, of course, my grandmama stayed in North Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? My Uncle Finn, you know, everybody stayed over
Top notch.
Everybody stayed over by community college.
So even though you lived in a blood neighborhood, your uncle was the leader of blood. How ironic. So yeah.
Right. So again, my uncle was the leader of the Bloods. Right. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of my childhood. So, you know, there were several different inspirations, man. Individuals that was inspiring to me. And of course, you know, my dad. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You know, my dad being who he was. You know what I'm saying? And so we saw that, you know, initially taking the onset and making sure that we was engaged in community. You know what I'm saying? And community was very significant to him. Community is very significant to my mama. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother was at community when she ran the daycare for all those years. And so ultimately, man, you know, my life, like I said, I come from the streets to the suites. You know, I had a chance to come from the streets of 89106, man, to go all the way up to HBO. You know what I'm saying? All the way to movies, all the way to comedic stages, you know, those kind of things. Had some great relationships. So again, I was inspired by a lot of people, man. But one of my greatest inspiration in terms of my comedic career and my own stage presence was Jimmy Payton, man. I don't know if you remember Fashion Plate.
Payton, I remember the name.
Jimmy Fashion Plate Payton, man. Jimmy Payton. Again, when I came home from school, Jimmy, and he understood what my plight was in terms of entertainment. Jimmy was the main guy at the Aladdin at the time. And Jimmy ran the Aladdin Theater. He used to host all of the big concerts at the Aladdin.
I remember.
And Jimmy used to be suited and booted every day in Shays, suited and booted every day in the Heritage. And so Jimmy was iconic in getting me to the next level in terms of entertainment and in terms of comedy. And then he started making introductions for me in the industry. And so again, performing at the Rouge, you know, I remember one of my first.
You know, I was actually going to bring that up about the Rouge. I was going to say, give me your most exciting thing about the Rouge, but then you just said.
Really?
Yeah. I'm thinking this in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
On everything.
Wow. So, you know, of course, at the Rouge, I had a chance, of course, Sarah Ann Knight, you know, I had a chance to meet Sarah Ann. But one of my biggest events that I had at the Rouge was when they brought Dolomite. I don't know if you remember, Rudy Ray Moore came to the Rouge, and I opened up for Rudy at the Rouge, because when I initially got the offer, you know,
and at that time you was what?
21. At that time, 22.
Rudy Ray Moore.
Rudy Ray Moore.
Greatest.
We became good friends, man. You know, it was crazy. Rudy and I became very good friends. You know, Dolomite literally pick up the phone, you know, hanging out. And then when he moved to Vegas, and I was working at Nevada Partners. I don't know if you remember, I was working at Nevada Partners, working at Nevada Partners over there at Sugar Ray Leonard, Boxing Gymnasium, and Richard Steele, and under the Culinary, because remember the Culinary was over there as well.
Right.
And Rudy used to come over, man, and have lunch with me and everything, and everybody was like, is that Rudy Ray Moore?
Ain't that
cool? That Dolomite? And because he had moved to Vegas at that time. And so we're talking about 2007, 2008.
Yeah, I helped build the Nevada Partners. I collected money for it. Man, my homeboy Nettles, you know Nettles.
Yes, yeah,
Me and Nettles, I get tipped off that they getting ready to build Nevada Partners. Because I'm boxing in the gym at the time. You know what I mean? So I hear somebody talk about it that they finna build a Nevada Partners. Sugar Ray Leonard boxing gym. Boy, and Sugar Ray was finna have that fight.
That's correct.
We went and got some raffle tickets. A dinner tray when it sat in front of Caesar Palace and sold raffle tickets.
Really?
And it was all about we helping build the new Nevada Partners and
Sugar Ray's boxing gym.
And then you can win if you win, you can win a trip you can win a ticket to the fight.
Was this legitimate?
Collect the money. Man, I tell you, it was a hustle. It was a serious hustle, and
come on, man.
The money that was made.
Hey, that's you being shiftless and lazy.
Shiftless. Find the easy way. Man, that was we had a song, and at the end of the song, all you hear is "Shiftless and lazy is what you made me." Yeah, I love that.
Come on, man. Shiftless and lazy. I remember that, man. Town Tavern, man.
Town Tavern. Yeah, absolutely. We made the show down there.
Of course. Yes, sir. I was
the
host.
I was so mad that day because there was so much confusion on what actually was supposed to take place.
Okay.
So I'm going in there. Now we're doing a show. So I'm thinking that the people going to be in the audience. And so when people started standing up, the Babe Boo, hey, hold on, wait, hold on. Yeah, sit down.
Right.
Well, hold on, Babe Boo, man, this is different. This is something new. So we had, this wound up having to shut it down early, but we did get it off though.
Yeah, I remember that.
Shiftless and Lazy.
Shiftless and Lazy Productions.
And that was like probably the first hip hop stuff being done at the Town Tavern.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it was blues.
It was all blues.
Yeah. Other than that,
and Babe Boo, Babe Boo was, if y'all don't know, Babe Boo was the owner of the Town Tavern, owner of the estates down the street, condos, the community, and all that stuff.
Correct.
So Babe Boo had it going on, and
yep.
He passed away now, rest in peace. But Babe Boo was an understanding man, and I wish more people would have came to help him during the times that his club was not doing as well.
Right.
It seemed like there was more sabotaging than helping.
It was. Yeah, unfortunately.
So yeah, man. It's a great show, man. I'm glad to have you on the show, man.
I'm glad to be a part of it, man.
I'd love to have you come back again.
I would love to come back, man, because there's more to definitely talk about. There's more to explore.
Absolutely.
Definitely more to explore, man. There's so much more that we can talk about because, again, the paradigm has shifted again. So, I'm in the cigar lounges now, and I'm in the cigar lounges with a lot of individuals, a lot of guys, and a lot of ladies that are coming into Vegas now for the very first time. They're new residents in Vegas, and they don't understand, especially cigar lounge, Tapping Ass is adjacent to the Culinary Union.
Absolutely.
And so they don't understand the history of Black folks in Vegas as it related to we not being able to be in the front of the house. We could only be in the back of the house and going through the culinary. They don't understand the relationships of how Black folks used to exist because they're just coming into Vegas not understanding the racism and the discrimination that we had to interface in other Black folks. And like I said, with my dad, going from a coach, to a civil rights icon, what I'm saying? Right. Marching on the city, marching on the strip, marching on the government, marching on the mayor, right. Just to make sure that Black folks had our own due diligence. And so, again,
still to this day.
And still to this day. At
80-something years old.
At still
80 plus.
80 plus, making sure that Black folks in Las Vegas are treated just and respected. Because, again, when they came up as the Mississippi of the West, that's real. So a lot of people in the cigar lounge like, Lou, what? That happened? You couldn't do that? That was going on? We couldn't. I'm like, dude, now the racism, it still exists, but it's not as visible because they can't. They can't do it, but, Metro, Northtown, this town, that town, we weren't allowed to be places in this town.
No, we wasn't.
We weren't allowed to be places in this town. So 89106, and if you came up under that bridge on Bonanza, it was shut down.
Hey, listen, man. Definitely had a great time.
Man, for sure.
Until next time, we'll see y'all again.
Blessings,
Lou.
man.
I appreciate you coming out. Folks, another episode. Check out the next one. We're coming at you live.
Hey, and let me just say this before I close. We've been friends for a long time, brother. 1976.
1976.
You know what I'm saying? And I thank you, man, and I love you to life.
I love you more.
All right?
I love you more.
We used to spend the night at each other's house.
Absolutely. Hey, we collected trophies together.
We collected trophies together.
We won championships together.
We won championships together.
Hey, we've been in the same place together.
We've been in the same place.
We did business together.
We've done business together.
We've worked in the same circles.
Circles, yes, sir.
The hair shows.
We have. We have. Yeah. So thank you, Mike.
I appreciate
I love you, man.
I love you more.
All right.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Now in the Las Vegas area to get your recording or podcast needs done. Uncle Mario in Las Vegas is offering special rates at $45 an hour for both the recording studio and podcast studio. Work with the pros and get it done right. In our podcast studio or recording studio, music production, video podcasts, or even audio podcasts, Uncle Mario Total Media is your total media company.
Visit umtmshopping.com for great quality and excellent prices on women's clothes, men's clothes, baby clothes, and children's toys, electronics, and much more. Visit us now at umtmshopping.com.
The song's lyrics emphasize the importance of making responsible decisions after a night out and the use of a rideshare service as a safe alternative to driving under the influence. By amplifying this message through sharing to your platform, you can help raise awareness about the risks of drunk driving and encourage your audience to make smarter choices. Share this song and save lives.